Hello again. We are moving slowly up. Now to the fear. Today's topic is fear, anxiety, a bit higher energy. You can see really difference when you feel fear and when you feel sadness or shame, for example. You can really notice that while we experience fear or anxiety, there is some energetical process happening inside us, right? There is a heart moving fast. We can very often feel something in our bellies. We are sweating. The temperature gets higher because fear, it's primal way to save our life, to protect ourselves. Primal instinct of rescuing ourselves, of survival. Whenever we would be walking, imagine that you are a caveman or cavewoman, you are walking with a spear or with a stick through a jungle, and suddenly you see a lion or a tiger. And thanks to that we can feel fear. There is more energy hitting us. We are in this fight or run mode. And we can run fast or we can start fighting just thanks to that fear. So fear is supposed to help us. Fear is supposed to save our life. This is its nature. This is why this emotion is inside us. But unfortunately, throughout all the years when we created the life so comfortable, there is not many tigers and lions just walking freely around us. So we started to use this fear in other areas, in work, at school. Everywhere where we stress, we're getting stressed basically, is because we forgot how to manage it. And what's the real nature of fear? Before, when we would feel fear, we would let this fear go through us and allow it to kind of lead us. That's, in some way, it's reactive, but it saves our life. But what happens now? Whenever we experience the fear, we've learned how to suppress it. We were told in the childhood, hey, don't be afraid, don't get scared, whatever. We don't allow this fear to take the control because we know when we, for example, allow this fear to take over, we'll start panicking and, so we start to suppress it. We start to fight with that primal instinct. Our minds doesn't really understand yet how it works and why is it for. Because if there is no danger around us, why we should feel fear? But fear, it's our natural emotion, natural instinct. So we will even start creating things in our life that will bring us this anxiety, bring us fear. And it happens when we are suppressing it. It happens when we are not allowing the fear to go through us. We will create the situation in our lives, anxious, fearful situations that will help us to feel that fear. Does it make sense? Every time you are suppressing emotion, every time you are not allowing yourself to feel it, subconsciously, you will be creating situations in your life that will make you feel these emotions. That will make you feel this triggering emotion. If you have suppressed anger, you will be looking for a people that you will be able to fight with, to release that anger. If you have suppressed fear, you will be looking for the anxious, stressful situations that will make you feel that fear. Your life will not be peaceful, will not be calm and relaxed. You will be always in the survival mode. Why? Because our bodies know how to heal itself. And if the emotion is suppressed, then our body, with the help of our mind, will find a way how to feel this emotion, how to show you this emotion, and you know, kind of put you in the position when you will have to feel it, when you will have to experience it. And this is what happens when someone is so good in suppressing the emotions that suddenly something will happen in his life that he will just get something called emotional breakdown. Everything will just explode, because in 1 week many things will happen, like the world will just go upside down, and all the emotions that he was suppressing all his life just suddenly, like a fountain, like a fireworks, everything goes out. This is a natural ability of our bodies to heal. If we are suppressing something subconsciously, our bodies, you know, our bodies are smarter than we think, smarter than our brain. Subconsciously, we will find these situations. Something will lead us to the places or to the people that will trigger these emotions. So that's why it's so important to release everything what we are keeping squeezed inside. Now, before we will talk more about the fear, I want to touch one important subject, which is releasing process, like what we are doing now. Feeling the emotion and letting it go is one thing. It will make us lighter. It will help us to drop this bag that we are carrying. But if we will not change the beliefs, if we will not change the lies that we were believing in, we will get again this fear, this sadness, this grief, this anxiety. Because releasing is one thing, but changing the belief is another thing. And if you are willing, if your intention is to finally change the belief that was making you accumulating certain emotion, if your intention is to change that belief, then you can expect that somehow in your life you will meet the situations that will put you in the position when you have to take another choice. Choose something else instead of what you were choosing always before. I will give you an example. So for example, you were stacking a lot of anger, you were accumulating a lot of anger inside you. And now during this process, you discovered it and you start to feel it, you feel better. And at some point in the meditation, for example, I say, is your intention to change the beliefs that were accumulating this anger inside you, to change the lies that you are believing in? And you say yes. Then, for example, the same day or the next day, you will see someone on the street that will trigger your anger, or in the traffic or in the shop, and you will feel that anger. But with that moment, you have choice. Or to start blaming the person and saying that you are angry, he's so bad, he's such a whatever. You will be put in that choice, in that position when you can choose now, oh wait, I got triggered, but it's not that I'm angry, it's just I'm feeling anger that wants to flow through me. He is not guilty. He's not in blame. No one is to blame. It's just I feel that this emotion wants to flow through me. That's the difference. That's the choice you will start making. You will find yourself in these situations when you will get triggered. And finally, for the maybe first time in your life, you will be able to choose something against your ego, something against blaming, something against offending others, something against playing victim, feeling as guilty, telling yourself that you are guilty. Now you will be able to change it. against your ego, and this choice is not always easy. Sometimes it takes a while to actually accept because there is resistance. Your ego will resist to act in a new way because it used to the way you were acting before. But look where acting as before brought you. You found yourself in a place when you see, okay, I need to change something. So you have to accept that from now on you will have to start making new choices. In order to change those beliefs, they will not change by themselves, or no one will change it for you. You are the only one that that have power, that have access to those beliefs to actually change them, to those choices. And it will become kind of happening automatically. You will know which way you want to go now. It's usually the harder way for the ego. It's the way where you feel resistance towards. To drop the pride, to drop the anger, to drop the sadness, to drop the guilt, to drop the shame. To finally start believing in something that is opposite to what your ego believed so far. And one more thing to mention. If during this course you are feeling worse, like you've noticed, oh, I started this course, it's supposed to help me, I'm feeling these emotions, but they were supposed to be gone, and I feel it more and more every day, and I'm feeling actually worse than yesterday, and yesterday I felt worse than the day before. That means the process is working, and you are covering more and more from your subconsciousness, from what was deep inside you. It's finally coming to the surface. And as I told you, it's like an iceberg. There are layers. You will uncover one layer, suddenly you will find some big chunk of something that you even weren't aware since so many years. You forgot when you were 4-year-old, for example. It will come as memories, but the most important is the emotion, the feeling. So, one thing, crucial thing to remember, you can even write it down and just make a frame around it. When you feel worse, when you start feeling worse, that means the technique is working. That you are really doing good job, great job, uncovering more and more. Because there is, as I said once, in our subconsciousness, it's like a storage. It can store so many things that we are not even aware of. We will be getting access to this slowly. With the time when our bodies will be able to process these emotions more and more, we will be getting more sensitive, but in the same time, we will be getting more aware how to handle these energies. And suddenly at some point you will see that you are feeling lighter and lighter every day, and you will be even craving for those days when you could feel all that anxiety or all that sadness because it was bringing you so much release, finally opening yourself to those feelings. So far, remember that if you feel worse, or as you call it worse, but I would say maybe you feel more vulnerable, maybe you feel more sensitive, maybe you feel more emotional. That's it. That means more energy is flowing through you. And more energy means more life. So keep in mind that fact. And now let's go back to the fear. I have a few more things to say about it. You see, every time we are afraid of something or we don't want it in our life, and usually we don't want it because we feel fear towards it, we kind of asking it to come. Because, I'm gonna say it for the first time, but I will be going back to it. Whatever we concentrate on, we create. In other words, whenever our attention goes, whenever our focus goes, we create these things. We are allowing them to exist. Again, whenever our attention goes, We create those things, whatever we concentrate on. So let's say now that I'm hiking in the mountains and there is like a steep kind of shelf, like a cliff, and I'm walking on the side of it. And I'm afraid of it. I'm scared of heights, for example. So I'm telling myself, I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. I don't want to fall. What am I concentrating on? If I will put the words aside, the picture in my head, it's falling down. When I say, I don't want to fall, I don't want to fall, I see myself falling. Because subconsciousness, and this is also very important, subconsciousness doesn't understand the word no. For the subconsciousness, for our subconscious mind, the concept of something negative, like negation, doesn't exist. Negation doesn't exist for our subconscious mind. So if we say, for example, I give you the example actually from my experience. I was with my family and I was watching the little member of our family. It was the son of my cousin. He's like 3-year-old. He was just running around the table with a older cousin, just running around the table. And my auntie, she said few times, I don't know why she was saying that, but it's kind of normal. She was saying, stop running because you will fall and you will hit your head. You will hit yourself in the head. And he's running, he's not listening, he's just running. And she goes again, stop running because you will fall and you will hit your head. And in that moment, I kind of saw, like in my imagination, but I saw how this message goes into the head of this little boy and clicks there. He believed. I kind of felt him, how he took it as a truth. Of course, she told him, stop running because you will fall and you will hit your head. But what she was seeing him falling down and hitting his head. And it came to him and he saw himself falling down and hitting his head. Guess what happened a few seconds after? Well, he fell down and he hit his head. Of course, nothing serious happened, but for me it was like, wow, so this is how it works. This is how we take the beliefs and, whatever we concentrate on, whatever we give attention to, we create it. Same with painting or with drawing. I create it in my head first, I know what I want to draw, and then I start drawing it, and then I have it. Whatever we give attention to, we kind of allow it to exist. We are creating it. So going back to that thoughts that you don't want something because you are afraid, every time you will be concentrating on something you don't want. Remember, for the subconscious mind, the word I don't want, I don't, no, doesn't exist. The emotion, the feeling, the picture, the image what you have inside you, that what matters. So now I want to invite you to the meditation on the fear, and don't judge it. Don't try to force it. Just observe. Just observe whatever it's inside. You will see, with time you will see that you are opening more and more to feel those emotions. You are becoming more and more vulnerable and sensitive. And at the same time, you are learning how to own this energy. Because this is energy. I will be emphasizing it all the time. This is energy, life-giving energy. Why we would like to get rid of energy? Why we want to suppress the energy? If the energy is life, it's creativity, it's happiness, it's movement, it's joy. So, I wish you good luck. Remember, if you feel more and more emotional those days, that means everything is fine and it's working. But we have to clean that basement, because this is our fundamentals, our roots. All what's there in this basement, in this dark basement, in subconsciousness, if we clean it now and we bring light there, it will support how we feel in general. It will support our life. This is how we get to the point we want. By taking care of our fundamentals, of our subconsciousness, which is a kind of a basement, right? When you start, when there is a flood and it's destroying the fundamentals of a house, the house falls down. So that's very important to take care about that part. So that's it from me for today. And I wish you good meditation, good day, and see you in the next video.